Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to a special program where we discuss recent political developments. Today, we'll be discussing the no confidence motion that will be moved by the Alliance for Change. With me is Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandlall, who will be discussing this motion further with us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Minister.
Thank you
Welcome.
very much, and good evening, viewers.
So we know that the Alliance for Change has written a letter via Comrade Ramjatan, the leader, to the president stating that their intention to move this no confidence motion in government. One of the main reasons they have highlighted is the fact that the finance minister, has used money out of the Consolidated Fund. What is your take on this, Minister?
Well, let me first say that the Constitution of Guyana permits any member of Parliament to move a no confidence motion in the National Assembly against the government. That is a constitutional right which this government inserted in the Constitution during the 2001 constitutional reform process. It was never there. We put it there. So that's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is that the Constitution does not require any political party or any member of Parliament to make a public spectacle of their intention to move a no confidence motion. There is no requirement to issue a threat publicly. There is no requirement for them to write to the government. They simply have to draft a motion and lay it in the National Assembly. So this whole public spectacle that is being created by Mr. Ramjatan about his threat to lay this no confidence motion is one that is completely uncalled for. It's completely unnecessary. As regards the basis upon which he premises this no confidence motion, that is the allegation of his and his party, and by extension the entire opposition, that Dr. Ashni Singh acted somehow improperly in tabling the two financial papers in the National Assembly, I want to say that I reject absolutely that contention of theirs. Dr. Singh, first of all, did not act upon his own volition. Dr. Singh acted pursuant to legal advice which he received from the Attorney General. Dr. Singh acted pursuant to a decision of Cabinet and a decision of the Government of Guyana to restore the sums which were cut from the budget. I have outlined in detail before the specific provisions in the Constitution which allows Dr. Singh to act in the manner that he did. I have pointed to Article 183 of the Constitution that allows for monies to be spent and then a statement of excess to be laid by the finance minister in the National Assembly. Dr. Singh has done that. When I took the opposition, the parliament to court in 2012, I sought two orders from the Honorable Chief Justice. One was a declaration that the cutting of the budget was unlawful, and second, an order directing the Minister of Finance to restore the budget cut. The Chief Justice granted the first one. He declared they have no power to cut the budget. And in relation to the second one, he said very clearly that the Constitution has already invested in the Finance Minister a power to restore monies cut from the budget. And therefore, he declined to make any order directing the minister. He said that were he to do so, then he would be usurping the functions of the finance minister. So it's not that we are without legal guidance in terms of an interpretation from the court. The court has directed how we should proceed, and we have proceeded in that way. Significantly, the Minister of Finance did this identical thing in 2012. The Minister of Finance laid in financial paper number 1 of 2012 a statement of excesses. The Finance Minister laid in 2013 financial paper number 1. These were identical papers laid in the National Assembly as the Minister of Finance has done in the year 2014. This very opposition, Mr. Ramjatan and his party, and the APNU supported the minister in 2012 and in 2013. So I cannot comprehend this significant outrage that I'm seeing expressed now. They lent their support to this identical thing in 2012 and in 2013. I don't know whether they are now telling the country that they were asleep in 2012 and 2013 because they did this exact thing. The Minister of Finance laid a similar financial paper and they lend their support to it. But what is significant? What is it that we are doing? What is it that the Minister of Finance has done? The Minister of Finance has simply restored to the budget monies which the government has allocated to be spent for the people of this country. And that seems to have been lost in this whole equation. It's not that the government is taking this money and spending it on itself, or the Minister of Finance is taking this money and spend it in any abnormal way. This money is being used to put back in the Amerindian communities so that their development can take place in those communities. Because as you know, all the developmental projects in the Amerindian communities were cut, were disapproved by the National Assembly. We are simply putting back the money in the Amerindian communities so that our indigenous brothers and sisters can have economic activities in their region. You see Minister Manik Chand going around the country sharing uniform vouchers and sharing transportation vouchers so that our children can get money to purchase uniforms and they can get money to pay for transportation when school reopens. That is where that money is going. You see the student loans at the university. You saw the outrage that has been expressed because the student loans have been disapproved. Well, we are giving the students of UG their loans, their monies to go to school. That is what we are doing. And if it is that this government will have to go to jail, according to the opposition, if it is that we have to go to the electorate, we are going to go to the electorate. And we are going to tell the people of this country where this money is being spent. It's not that we are spending it on something that the people can't see. The people of this country are benefiting from the monies which Dr. Ashni Singh has restored. And we are prepared at any point in time to go to the electorate if the no confidence motion is tabled and passed and explain to the electorate, look, we are trying to give you money. We are trying to develop your life. We are trying to make your family's life better. We are trying to improve the welfare of your children. And for that, apparently, we are going to be penalized. We are prepared to do that.
Another question. Since the no confidence will be moved by the Alliance for Change, do you believe that this will be supported by the APNU?
Well, as you know, the no confidence motion, if it is tabled by the AFC, it cannot pass because they only have 7 votes in the National Assembly. So it will, if it is going to be successful, it must benefit from the support of the APNU. So far, I have not heard any commitment emanating from the APNU that they will support this motion. I believe the last public disclosure which has emanated from that party is that they are considering it. But it's a matter for them. We, the People's Progressive Party, is a party that is 60 years old. We have gone to the polls more than any other political party in this country, perhaps more than most others in the Caribbean. And the record will show that we have never lost an election. Elections were rigged by the PNC when they were in power, and that is how we were kept out of government. But we have never lost an elections. So we are not afraid, if Mr. Ramjatan and anyone else believes that we are afraid of the electorate. We are not afraid of the electorate. We work with the people of this country every single day to improve their lives and livelihood. And that is our record. And that's not a record that is 2 years old. That's a record that is 60 years old. As a political party, we have been in the trenches, we have been in the fields, we have been in the streets, we have been on the dams, we have been at the bottom houses, we have been everywhere to champion the cause of the Guyanese people. So we are not unruffled. We are not ruffled, by the threats coming from a party that is 2 years or 3 years old. We are a big party. We have a history of facing the electorate and having a good relationship with the electorate.
And for those persons out there, they might be hearing about the no confidence motion, but they might not understand clearly what is it about. The basis that the Alliance for Change is using for this no confidence motion in the Constitution, is this enough?
Well, the Constitution does not outline a reason, does not require, a reason for a no confidence motion to be brought. So, presumably, a no confidence motion can be brought for any given reason. And it has to be passed, and then if it is passed, then the government has, the cabinet and the president will remain in office for 3 months until the next elections are held. So that is the constitutional procedure. But if Mr. Ramjatan wants to go ahead and pass that no confidence motion, as the president explained in his letter in response to Mr. Ramjatan, it will give Mr. Ramjatan an opportunity to explain to the Guyanese people many, many things that they need explanation on. He will have to tell the people of Berbice, in particular West Berbice and East Berbice, why he partnered with the APNU to attempt to close down the sugar industry, jeopardizing hundreds of thousands of people's lives. He will have to explain why he opposed the amendments to the anti-money laundering bill. And, the sanctions which he has exposed us to and exposed the Guyanese people to economic hardship. He will have to explain why he cut the budget from all the important developmental projects, including hydropower, and denying the people of this country a cheap alternative source of energy. He will have to explain to the people of this country why he wants to deny them proper health care by opposing the specialty hospital. He will have to explain to the people of this country the role that his chairman played in allowing or causing persons who were charged with slaughtering 12 people at Lusignan walk free from the legal system. He will have to explain, for example, to the Amerindian people why he's denying them developmental projects. He will have to explain to the young people of this country why he denied them their student loans at the university. He will have to explain to the young people why he denied them uniform vouchers and transportation expenses. So there's a lot of explanation which he will have to do. So if he's prepared at this point in time and he feels ready to offer those explanations, then it is his right to lay that no confidence motion, and he will have to deal with the consequences of it.
Okay, now moving on to our next point. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, that this no confidence motion is passed and we have to go back to elections. Do you think that GCOM is ready for general elections again?
Well, I am not in a position to speak on the preparedness of GCOM for national elections. From the information that I have had, speaking with the members of the commission who are representatives of my party, I know that they are not ready for local government elections. That is the information that I received from our commissioners. In relation to general elections, I am not in a position to say, but the law will require them to be ready. The Constitution requires elections to be held within 3 months after the passing of a no confidence motion.
Mm-hmm. And what about the people, the citizens? Because this is something that is not expected at this point in time. Do you think the citizens of Guyana would be fully prepared for another general election so soon because of this no confidence, if it were?
Well, it's difficult for me to speak on the preparedness of the citizenry for an electoral process. But it will be made clear to them that it's the Alliance for Change that has brought about this consequence, and they will deal with the Alliance for Change, in the way that they deem fit. The political work that I have done, and my party has done, and our government has done, have led me to believe that the the Alliance for Change is completely misreading the political climate and the people's thinking at this point in time. But as a matter for them, I mean, I will not arrogate unto myself any belief that I can persuade the Alliance for Change in any particular way. If they decide that, that's what they want to do, then so be it. They will deal with the consequences. Whether they have money to go to the election is a very expensive process. If Mr. Ramjatan believes that he has the financial capabilities of embarking on an electoral campaign, well then we will deal with the consequences of that.
Okay. Well, that was basically it, but is there any final thoughts that you would like to share with the general public on this no confidence motion?
I want to say that the basis or the reason offered by the Alliance for Change for threatening a no confidence motion is one that is frivolous, vexatious, specious, and without merit. Dr. Singh did not act on his own accord. Dr. Singh acted with the authority of the Government of Guyana. And it's not Dr. Singh who is responsible. It's a collective responsibility. It's a government's action that Dr. Singh simply executed. Dr. Singh acted in accordance with express provisions of the Constitution, which were interpreted by the Constitutional Court of this country, by the Chief Justice of this country, and Dr. Singh was essentially advised to act according to the Chief Justice's interpretation of Article 218(3) of the Constitution. A person cannot, in law, act in conformity with the Constitution and then at the same time, for that very action, contravene any principle of criminal law. It is a legal impossibility. And Mr. Ramjatan, as a lawyer, must know that, or ought to know that. So he is on a fishing expedition. He feels frustrated that his actions are being defeated, and then he is to act how he feels he needs to act. So he's going down that road, and we are prepared to deal with it.
Thank you, Minister. Well, let me just thank you for being on the program this afternoon and expressing your views on the no confidence motion that was moved by it's proposed to be moved by the Alliance for Change in the National Assembly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, viewers, for joining us. Thank you.